Welcome to another episode of Ruff Talk VR, a weekly podcast with in-depth game reviews, exclusive developer interviews, and the latest MetaQuest and virtual reality news. We join our hosts, the father-son team of D. Scruffles and Stratus today, as they spend another episode breaking down and discussing the world of virtual reality.
Hey, welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. We're here with another edition of VR news, and hopefully anybody watching on video already notices a little video improvement. We just went through quite the video upgrade today. It was a lot of fun testing that out.
Camera time.
Yeah, upgrading
New camera time.
I've learned from a podcast standpoint, upgrading our equipment is a lot like upgrading a VR headset. It's like you upgrade a VR headset, it's better, but you lose all of your accessories, you go backwards in comfort in some ways like that. You know, you upgrade our podcast
There's always
equipment.
a learning curve with.
Yeah, it takes us a couple hours to get our feet under ourselves, figure it out, the settings, but all for good reason. So hopefully that's noticeable there. But we have plenty of news to talk about today. To start it off with something we even missed, but we also have our thoughts, our review of Walkabout Mini Golf's new DLC course, Widow's Walkabout.
Yeah.
And this, I mean, spoiler.
Spooky.
Has there been a bad Walkabout Mini Golf course yet? So
No.
I have a feeling we're both going to have some positive things to say.
It's possible.
You know, no spoiler, but let's see.
It is possible.
To start the show, it's actually something we missed last week. Somebody commented it in the comments like, hey, by the way, this came out. And I was like, darn, I meant to go over that one. So to start the show, it's actually something from last week. NFL Pro Era 2 launched last week on the official MetaQuest store.
Yep.
And it looks like that they're taking the, classic console sports game route with this, where yearly upgrades, which include roster upgrades and slight new features, but it's not like it's not like a huge, massive upgrade in quality or anything like that. It's more just, here's the upgraded roster and here's some new features. Like they're putting in head-to-head multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer.
And they're also doing it so in the season mode, you can do multiple seasons in one career. So you're not limited to just doing one season and then start a new one. You can really go through it multiple seasons, which right off the top, somebody in our Discord, they were like, I am so looking forward to that feature. For myself, I think I did one season in NFL Pro Era 1, but I'm not a diehard football fan. For the people that are diehard football fans, they're going to, there's people that's the biggest feature in the world to them, I want co-op.
Well, replayability, yeah.
Yeah, you can keep going through multiple seasons. I want co-op multiplayer is what I want personally. Multiple positions. Maybe one of us play quarterback, one of us play receiver, something like that.
Yeah.
Head-to-head multiplayer.
I just don't know if they can pull it off like that.
No, people are asking, does this one feature multiple positions? And they're like, for now, still just quarterback, but maybe in future years. So, I mean.
So when you're doing head-to-head with somebody, it's just you're both quarterbacks.
That's how it seems, and maybe it doesn't even look like you have any defensive control. It looks like that you're just going.
It's what we all who own the game, myself included, had hoped would have been just an upgrade mixed in maybe with a DLC.
Correct. The first one had catch for multiplayer, but no head-to-head. Yeah,
we knew a long time ago that wasn't.
But anything with
case, so.
anything with MLB, NHL, NFL, this is kind of how the sports games always go. It's like yearly upgrade, new roster, like I said, and some new features, not really like a massive overhaul sequel.
Taking the Madden approach.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to reference before. Or the 2K approach like we saw before and all that stuff. But NFL Pro Era 2 for football fans,
is available. I mean, don't get it twisted.
That's a big launch. I love the first one too.
If I can play this one, I will.
Do you remember in the first one, that first time when you load in, they have you run through the tunnel?
You come walking out the tunnel, and the crowd's all cheering.
Yeah, we had very good things to say about the first one. I'm not hating on it at all. No. Like I said, this is what I expect with sports game sequels.
As a consumer, I had wished, because I'm trying to remember back. I think we paid for that.
Yeah, hell yeah, we did.
1,000,000%, right?
Yeah, we didn't get that one.
Yeah, so I mean, as a consumer, I had hoped there would have been like a bunch of updates, because there was some things that.
No, it was pretty much a drop, and here's how it is, and now the updates are coming in the second one.
Yeah.
But what people got to understand for licensing in these type of games, it's all licensing.
And it's NFL licensing. It's not
down to the crowd noises.
Dude, yeah, man, my TikTok video got
taken down for licensed NFL
Instantly.
and licensed NFL crowd noises. But that's
crowd noises in the audience.
Who knows on the business sense how this goes, if they get it all in a package or they have to pay for every single sound that they use. Who knows? So I can also understand from their standpoint where they're like, hey, look, we got to put out a next one next
year. I would go
year.
as far as to say a third of what they charge for the game goes strictly to licensing.
Yeah, we have no way to know, but I wouldn't even be surprised if it's more. And then you have your 30% cut to the MetaQuest store too. I don't blame them for doing this business model. That's, like I said, pretty standard across.
And if now as a consumer we've kind of figured it out, I don't think it's...
Now we know to expect it for next year. Yeah. There's no surprises.
Yep.
But
I hope they do keep pumping them out though, because they're the first ones that ever gave me that like real in arena experience of like
it was tight.
You know, even standing on the sidelines and watching
the defense go
down, you feel like you're there. So as this game through the years, you know, develops, and you know, if they keep pumping one out a year and each one gets a little better and better, it's going to get to the point someday when you're going to have the ability to have a full team,
and that's the time we'll be able to play together.
Yeah, man, and everyone's got their uniforms on and all that shit, and all padded up, and you're walking on the sidelines, and everyone knows their roles.
I can't wait.
I mean, the technology's it'll eventually get there, but
yeah. So I'm down to support them as they get there. You know, they have the NFL
so kudos
license.
to them. Sorry, we missed it.
Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. You know, like I said, the first one was tight, and then another game that you love, you still hop in it quite frequently. You mention that every time we mention it. Smash Drums. You know, they recently put out an MR mode, a mixed reality, which you say you still play it in its VR mode.
I don't necessarily need the mixed reality for it.
Yeah, but Smash.
I mean, they need to go that direction also.
Yeah, but Smash Drums is great in gameplay, but what you had criticized it was its lack of well-known songs.
Correct.
And they're looking to rectify that. You know, they're putting out their first major DLC with big titles. It's a 1970s rock DLC. It comes with 5 songs for $6, so that's actually a pretty good steal.
Not bad at all.
Especially when you hear, you know, the
lineup.
Yeah, so we got One Way or Another by Blondie.
One Way or Another.
Rock and Roll All Night by Kiss.
Oh, dude, that was such...
We got Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard Skinner. We got Roxanne by The Police.
I can live without that one.
And we got LaGrange by ZZ Top. And you already bought it. As soon as I finished telling you about this, we were going over a bit what we were going to talk about today. You're like,
it was as easy as
so you pull out your phone, you scroll to the MetaQuest app, and then next thing you know, it's bought. So
I'll be playing this later.
But hey, $6 is a pretty good price, especially because it's not like they just did one singer song pack. I like the diversity in a pack.
Yeah, they chose
a good lineup
for what the game is. You know, unlike Beat Saber that can really focus hard on going like, hey, Lady Gaga or whatever,
which is a good route too. You know, you drop a link.
It works for them. But this route I like because it's giving you that just like Unplugged.
Correct. That's how they did it too.
It's like give you a real good variety of, and every one of those, even though I'm not necessarily the biggest, you know, Roxanne.
It'll be fun to go into.
Yeah, for all the others, for me, it will be. You know, but I mean, I'll play that one, but that's not going to be my go-to. Probably definitely Sweet Home Alabama for sure. Kiss 1,000,000%, even though you know that's going to be like wicked hard.
Well, you already bought it, so
yeah.
So cool stuff. Like I said,
done deal.
That route is so smart of going with the multiple artists too, because that really catches them up. Of now they can say, well, we got this artist, we got this artist,
and
we got this artist.
for $6, if it's somebody you really like, you'd pay it just for that one. So by giving people, you know, as I'm like, for every I might say I don't like Roxanne. I'm sure someone's like, I'm not a Kiss fan, but maybe they love. Maybe they love Leonard Skinner, so they're gonna be like, I'll pay the $6 just for Sweet Home Alabama, and I got the others. And my kids can play that, you know. So no, they did it really intelligently, and I love that. Man, it keeps growing.
Yeah, it does.
You know, it's like for years they've just inched forward.
Well, you only had one. You only had one criticism, one.
Yeah,
and they redeemed it.
Yeah,
you know, they fixed it.
And
well, they're on route,
and I went and financially supported that.
Yeah. And just like we talked about with NFL Pro Era, all of these rhythm games run into the same thing with songs of like licensing and music is hard. You know, look, they're charging $6 for 5 songs. What percentage of that do you think is going to the song ownership? Then again, the store cut.
Jesus.
So
it depends, because we already know that, like, in some cases you could be dealing with dozens of people who all own one song.
Yep.
But I'm thinking the choice they went at, I mean, Sweet Home Alabama, you pretty much hear that anywhere and everywhere. You know, Blondie. I mean, I would think that'd be kind of cheap, just so there's still some relevance.
I also wouldn't be surprised if they were like, let's not
ZZ
care.
Top and Kiss are the one that I'm like, maybe ZZ Top's just pretty cool, but Kiss, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that would have happened.
Well, I wouldn't be
10
surprised
years
if
ago, 20 years ago.
if they're like, let's just break even on this screw making money.
Yeah,
let's
it's
just get
do
our
it.
library pumped out. You know,
It's possible, because then more people might want to play it.
buy
knowing they have
the
that.
game
Yeah.
originally, and then it takes away the criticism that they had
Could
of
be an
their library.
An L on the profit, but a win on the.
Yeah,
the
maybe
app.
we see DLCs down the line cost a little bit more once it gets the notoriety. Let's see. But
Yeah.
it's a step in the right direction for sure. And Smash Drums is a game you already love, so now it's
Yeah.
fixing the one
Now I
issue
love
you
it
had.
even
So
more.
awesome,
I'm gonna
awesome
love it
stuff.
a lot tonight.
And then another game that we've actually reviewed, we've interviewed the developer before. It's been on our list since then of a game that should be on the official MetaQuest store, especially for casual puzzles. Talking about Squingle. They're releasing a upgraded mixed reality mode, you know, optimized for the Quest 3 next week. And that's going to be huge. You know, Squingle is, I'm sorry, it's actually not dropping next week. It's dropping this week. And Squingle, like I said, it was one of the top puzzle games already on App Lab before. And this is just continuing to solidify that it should be on the official Quest store.
Well, and doing everything right. You know, I mean, immediately adapting their game for the newest hardware, immediately adapting your game, utilizing some of the latest technology that the hardware has to offer. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, every once in a while we have those ones where I don't know. I don't know what the.
Squingle and Color Connect are like two of our original class, as well as Atlas Mystery. I think those are the only 3 of our originals, you know, pushed to App Lab. And even Atlas came a little bit later, that still haven't made it on the official MetaQuest store. And all 3 of those deserve to. And Squingle, yeah, this is just more evidence to that matter if you haven't checked it out yet.
I'm not going to lie. I already thought they were on the store.
If you ask me, they should be. And if you like casual puzzles, Squingle that's the one. You know, I mean, it's so nice.
Well,
it's up there with Cubism.
Even in their own description, I mean, they get you at psychedelic, you know? I mean,
in the mixed reality mode, when you see clips of it, it definitely vibes with that. So stay tuned for that update this week. And then another game a game coming soon that looks really good. We love escape rooms, and this one is a game that you can play solo or co-op, featuring numerous puzzles and escape rooms. It's called Rooms of Reality, and it drops on the Quest Store and PC VR on November 17th. And we're going to go over a couple games that are coming out in November, you know, and it's all I'm going to say is November is going to be a hell month for covering games and just trying to get them all, you know. There's a lot of good releases coming out that same week. So stay tuned for Rooms of Reality. We watched the trailer of it.
It looks, but I also say, I'm like, because, you know, we party chat when we play the single player puzzle rooms, even though we don't help each other, we just want to know what each other's at.
I think you might be a little cocky with the statement you're about to say. Let's see.
Fuck it, dude. I'm saying it, man.
I know where you're going.
I don't think it's going to be in co-op. I don't find us being stumped. Because the majority of time, things that stump you don't stump me, and
we know how to
versa.
work together
And
well
so,
too.
Yeah,
we got
so I'm
communication down.
My only fear is in co-op mode. Maybe it's a different experience to a sense that you both have to be doing certain things at the same time. So, but I'm very intrigued.
I'm curious
they
how
had me at escape rooms.
it can't be like that
or
though,
puzzle
because it works
co-op.
solo or co-op.
Correct. So I mean, I don't
let's
know.
see.
I plan on crushing this one.
Yeah, I'm excited. And it looks like it uses the meta avatars. At least that's how the trailer looks. So
My fancy dress dude will be
yeah, I got my guy with a nice tie-dye
crushing
shirt
the
now.
puzzles. Yeah. So I
let's
mean,
see.
that's going to be interesting because it is kind of our jam. We like it a lot, and this is going to be a good challenge.
Yeah, I'm definitely pumped for that one. And another game coming out that around that same time, it's been one of the most hyped App Lab shooters, first-person shooters, since we even got our Quest, people were saying back then, go on side quest and get it. We're talking about Pavlov Shack. It's a game, like I said, cult following on the App Lab store. It's officially coming to the MetaQuest store on November 14th for $20, but you can pre-order it now for 20% off as well. So that's a pretty good price for such a well-known game.
Yeah, it still has a good audience.
But again, that's right around that Rooms of Reality, November 17th, now November 14th. You're going to hear through this episode, that's a stacked
that's
week.
not, I think a while ago we were talking about it, and I make the argument that people got to be careful with how they're releasing these things if you want to get the attention. Because if somebody's dropping a gold nugget in this bunch, and the majority of people are going to spend their time playing it, maybe they'll even buy yours. But as far as user activity, it could easily get lost. I'm not saying.
Well, we need to be
not
realistic.
saying this game in specific. It's like any one of these that are dropping in tight schedules against each other. It's nuts.
We need to be realistic in that there are some people that, yes, they do have the disposable income that they on a crazy week they can drop 100, 150 on games. But there's also a lot of gamers that, look, maybe they can afford to buy one game a month, one game every 2 weeks. And you really got to pick and choose.
Dude, a game a month is pretty normal.
I mean, that happens, especially you think teenagers or young adults just moving out and stuff like that.
And if it's a game you like, dude, come on. You're going to play it for a long time.
And then check this. So 4 games come out the same week. So you go, I'm going to pick one of them. And then, you might think, oh, next month they're going to go and pick a different one. But guess what? We live in VR with this industry. It's so moving. In next month, when they're ready to buy a new game, there's going to be 5 more releases. And are they going to ignore those to go back to one a month ago? I don't know. So I agree with you. You got to be careful too.
And remember, you got Ghostbusters coming soon. So,
well, you know what? I'll skip ahead because there's actually a game that's coming out this same day as the one I'm about to talk about. But so far we've got November 14th with Pavlov Shack, which is a game with like I said, quite a big following. I've been hearing it recommended since we got our Quest 2 way back then. That's November 14th. Rooms of Reality was November 17th. And also, I mean, the biggest of all the ones that we're going to talk about today, and we're not even done talking about ones coming in the same time, Assassin's Creed VR, Assassin's Creed Nexus, they're coming out on November 16th. So that same week. And that's a huge, huge title. I mean, how do you compare with Assassin's Creed, That's you're silent. You're silent right now.
Because it's like,
because that's what people are going to buy, right? If you could only buy
the only thing I mean, if I was in charge of the studio doing Assassin's Creed, I would move my date up to the 10th.
Ubisoft,
so
yeah.
I would just be like, let's put an end to this malarkey real quick.
We got it.
And we'll do an early pre-release.
You know what'll give them a lot of credit for though? We were talking about this a little off air, and it's 100% true. When you look at the previews of it, they just put out a new in-depth, 8-minute gameplay trailer where they mix between captured in-game footage and Quest 3 footage. They're the first AAA studio I've seen go into VR, and really it looks like they're giving it a full effort. It's not like some little 3-person side project. They're saying it's the same length as the original Assassin's Creed games, or similar length. You get to play as 3 different iconic Assassin's Creed characters, including my favorite, Ezio. It looks polished. It looks well done.
Well, and I'm sorry. And in the video, I mean, he even says that the parkour aspect of it is there. It's everywhere.
I was skeptical of that.
And there's some things that you'll be able to do for the first time ever in the game that you were never able to do.
Yeah, it's like an official full Assassin's Creed title.
I've fallen for this.
Well, we've seen
AAA Kool-Aid before,
with Respawn, with Medal of Honor, and then also with EA, which is Respawn's also owned by EA, but then another EA studio, Codebreakers, they came out and ported Grid Legends to Quest, and both of those efforts were very, very.
They fell flatter than they should. Driving in VR is freaking great.
The gameplay mechanics itself were great, but the effort put in the port was not there. And same thing with Medal of Honor.
No. This one is it looks like
a full. Yeah,
it looks damn good.
I'll give Ubisoft a lot of credit. Like I said, really treating it as a full project. I mean, full disclosure off air, I don't want to speak for you, but you were saying I don't believe anything until it's in your hands either. You're not telling people yet to buy it, but
yeah, I'm just based on
it looks like a freaking full effort
on the marketing campaign they have running for it. It looks really damn good.
Mm-hmm. This is the first time that a big studio is coming to the Quest headset and really giving it a full effort. And
It
honestly,
appears that way.
this is going to be a big, I don't want to say make it or break it. I don't want to be dramatic like that or anything. But the reality is if Ubisoft can go out and go, look, we did this with this amount of effort. We put this amount of resources into it. And hell yeah, we turned out a big profit. It was a success, well received. Other AAA studios are going to look at that. You know, if nobody buys this thing either, it might be a little bit of time before another AAA studio is willing to do that as well. So I do think it's a bit of a big title for the industry too.
Ubisoft is coming in as far as I'm concerned. If you're looking at it from like a fighter standpoint, because they're representing those AAA studios, you're coming in with a pretty poor fight record. And you get that, like, I'm thinking of it like you have to go into it like, if I don't win this fight, I'm losing my contract. So they got more than just the weight of their own studio on their backs in my head. They're carrying the weight of the other AAA studios that have entered and weren't able to pull it off
100%
to the expectations you'd expect from a AAA studio. And it's known. It's like we talk about it. I've heard other content creators talk about it. So it's like it's a known thing. These people come in and they fall flat, and they shouldn't be.
And this looks like the exception. I mean, I'm so excited.
Yeah, they all look like the exception.
So you get what
on paper or in. So we'll see.
But you get what I mean by it's a big title, not only for the consumers, but for the industry itself.
For the AAA industry.
Yes.
Otherwise, all they've done is, again, further cemented the fact that a AAA studio
will fall flat.
Can crush it in the flat screen world, falls flat coming into the VR space.
But I don't think that's what Meta wants. I think Meta wants to be able to get these other big studios.
And personally, I think it's going to be phenomenal.
Yeah, that's my expectation. That's my interpretation of what I've seen, and also
I'm just being realistic to the.
Well, no, you're smart. You never believe it until the reviews are out. It's in people's hands. Yeah. You're experiencing it, and you can actually comment on it. But I like to see. I'm liking what I'm hearing, even from the developers and stuff. But that comes out November 16th, so
it's going to be crazy.
That's going to be tough to compete with. And also coming out November 16th, it's called Ironstrike. It's a kind of a spin-off of Iron Lights, made by the same developer, E. McNeil.
But you can tell.
Yeah, Iron Lights to Ironstrike.
Yeah.
We interviewed E. McNeil way back in the day in the podcast, and we even, reviewed Iron Lights. I loved it. It's like a slow motion sword fighting game. You get to pick your class.
It was so unique, man.
The original Broken Edge, honestly, it still holds up. It's a lot of fun. I loved it. I did pretty good in it until I got to the higher ranks, and then that's where the community steps in and whoops you real good. But it even had like spectator features, really polished. And when we interviewed him, he teased this game way back then and referenced some multiplayer features he wanted to do, and just that he wanted to do a roguelite. And here it is. And it's coming out November 16th. It looks great. You can play it up to 4 players. There's, I think, 40 or 50 different enemies in game that you can potentially run across. I'm looking forward to it. There's upgrades.
Looks like he's taken some of the other game mechanics of his and incorporated into but I'm just going on trailer.
I'll be honest with you, I would delay it if I was him at least a week, if not to the first week
When's
of
it coming
December.
out?
The same exact date as Assassin's Creed, November 16th.
Don't do it. I mean, maybe he doesn't have a choice.
$20.
But I wouldn't see Meta being like, yeah, you need to compete against this on this day. That's the best example of how to bury a product I can think
from
of.
a business standpoint, I would put it out early December or late November, not the same exact date as Assassin's Creed. If I had any choice in it, if I saw Assassin's Creed,
then you got to look at what the average play time of Assassin's Creed's going to be.
And if it's the same length as the first couple Assassin's Creed games, dude, that's a long game.
Yeah, so give it a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from a money standpoint, that would I wouldn't do anything around 2 weeks before or after Assassin's Creed.
And Upload VR put out like a early hands-on impressions with it. And I believe it was written by Henry Stockdale, who's in our Discord sometimes.
Hey.
Yeah, he's a cool guy for sure. Great articles too, and
I love when I read an article and then I see the
it's
name
him,
on it.
yeah.
I'm like, hey, dude.
that's awesome. But he was very complimentary of it. So far, the people that have actually played it so far, they're
And I find his words to be credible.
yeah.
So
Otherwise, I want to give him the shout out. It's well deserved for sure. So I'm excited for that to be in my hands, but I'm also excited
well, you could have shit on him if the words weren't true. You could be like, fuck this guy, you know?
But I'm as much as
that's
I'm
not
looking
true.
forward to Assassin's Creed, I'm also looking forward to Ironstrike, but I'm also looking forward to Pavlov Shack and
Yeah, but
Rims of
dude,
Reality
okay.
the same week so far.
Okay. Let's be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
We play a lot of VR,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's things we have to do.
We
right?
play about 1 to 2 hours a day.
So, but
Would you say that's fair?
Yeah, that's pretty damn fair. Some days it's more, some days it might be less.
That's why I say 1 to 2.
I'd say definitely like the minimum of an hour. So your play can start stacking up, and there's games that are coming out.
Even right now, it's happening to us.
There's a lot of games you can realistically play in a week and be like, oh, I'm pretty solid in my opinion of it, you know. But we got some things coming down the pipeline that's not going to be that simple. So it's like even looking at that lineup yourself, and I know you're excited to play every one of those.
But can we?
What are you gonna choose right now, based on what you see there? Is it gonna be? I already know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Assassin's Creed.
Because it's a big title. I need to go check it out. That's what I was saying before too.
That's from like non-consumer.
So then you're done with Assassin's Creed and you go, now you're going to go back to one of those. You hope so, but there's great titles coming in December, including Asgard's Wrath 2 is coming out in December.
60 hours of your life right there.
And anybody that got a Quest 3 has that for free, which, by the way, if you got Asgard's Wrath 2 for free because of your Quest 3 purchase, if you go onto the store page logged in on your app, for Asgard's Wrath 1, which is only available on PC VR, you're able to add that to your library as well. So I got Asgard's Wrath 1 as well for free, which I can't play with no PC VR, but it's in my library.
I own it.
I have it.
They
So
offered it. I own it. No, dude.
That was interesting with my pre-order.
That's a big game, man.
Well, not my pre-order. With my Quest 3 purchase, I got Asgard's Wrath 2 for free, but that also got me Asgard's Wrath 1 for free. That's not bad. That's pretty cool.
It wasn't free.
But nonetheless,
Cost $650.
that's a good point. That's good. But I was probably going to spend the 60 anyway on Asgard's Wrath 1, but now I got it locked in.
If they didn't bundle it into the headset, you were buying the headset either way.
And
So
I was
it's
also
like
buying the game either way.
Yeah.
So-
So I mean, at the end of the day,
So that was a good one. You know, a little shout out to anybody that didn't know that you get Asgard's Wrath 1 for free. You do. That's nice. Just go in there logged
good
on
little
on your app. And I also want to give a shout out to Team Beef. They're makers of some of the best standalone VR mods. There's a very heavy PC VR modding scene, but it's PC VR. I respect it. It's great that they're there. You were even saying that you're jealous of it sometimes. That
yeah, I'll look at like
jealous in a good way. Like
dude,
you want to play it.
Even years ago, there was, and I don't know who it was that modded it, but someone did Grand Theft Auto and they crushed it. It was like a really good.
And there's a really good VR modding community for PC VR called Flat to VR. Like, it's great. I'm so happy they exist. They should exist, but there's not too many dedicated just to standalone VR ones, and that's where Team Beef comes in. You know, they'll take a game like Jedi Knight Academy or Doom, and they're very clear you have to legally buy the game, and then this is a mod for the game, and the mod's hosted on side quests, so it's a cool little system, and their mods are very well polished. And they teased an update for their Doom 3 mod that takes advantage of the Quest 3 and their ability to use lighting, flashlights, shadows.
It looks so good.
Floor tile polish. Like, dude, it was some of the best graphical optimization that I've seen. And this is from standalone modders. You're even like, I'm surprised Meta hasn't scooped these guys up.
Yeah, they're really, really, really talented.
Yeah, no, I was really impressed with.
And to think they just do it for nothing.
No, incredibly talented. Again, these are people that aren't working in a full studio making their own games, they're modding, but their ability to take advantage of
They're crushing it is what they're doing.
of the Quest capabilities are great, and they have
Imagine
some
having that skill.
and they have some great games in their roster of mods. So if you don't know about Team Beef, I mean, that is some of the best content on side quests. Just make sure that you own the game legally from that you want to
Or
mod.
It won't work.
And then download the mod that comes with pretty clear instructions. You drag, mod in this file into this folder, boom, then drag it into your headset and then launch it. It's a great time. So huge shout out to Team Beef. That teaser that they put out for their Doom 3 upgrade for the Quest 3 was insane, honestly. Huge props to them. And then another game that you actually had the demo of way back in the day, and now it's available on early access on App Lab, but they're teasing a full release coming later this year, Paradiddle. It's a VR drumming simulator that in this full release coming later this year, beyond being more polished than the demo or the early access, it's also going to feature more songs and multiplayer support that you can do competitively or free play. And this is a game, it's a drumming simulator. It's more like a percussion simulator because there's a ton of different instruments. It's not just drums. It's anything you bang, it looks like. And besides being able to just play songs and like that rhythm game mechanic, it also looks like it teaches you how to play. Is that correct?
From what I saw and what they're putting out, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, when we were watching the trailer, you're like, I already own this. And then you went through your app history and it was like
I had the demo.
a free demo from way back when. But
And it's funny because I know I played it more than once, but I liked where they were going with it. But it looks like what they're putting out is so much more than the demo was.
yeah, so they don't have an official date yet on the release, just that it's coming later this year. But the day it's available, I'm grabbing it. That's 100%. So huge props to Paradiddle.
Dude, I can't wait for them. I don't know why nobody's doing Rock Band, dude.
They had it on PC VR way back, like 2017.
Let me
but
rephrase.
on the Quest, I agree.
Take two. I don't know why nobody's doing Rock Band on standalone, dude.
Yeah, no, I agree. I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? It's
100%.
We've got all these games that like fiddle fart around it. We've got the piano now, keyboards. We've got drums. We've got freaking air guitar. It's like, you telling me you can't put these three together?
No, I agree. I agree.
And each person chooses remotely.
Sometimes
like,
I
what they
see
wanna
stuff
do.
like Unplugged, then I see this.
Bass
It's not-
guitar.
I'm like, we're getting there. It's just step by step. Now we just need a singing one. I could even do it without the vocals of Rock Band, just instrumental. I'm happy. But imagine seeing it with our meta avatars too.
Oh, jamming out.
Dude. No, I agree. I agree. It's a no-brainer. So a couple more things to talk about. Another game coming out, but luckily not that same week in November, called Floor Plan. It's actually Floor Plan Remaster. It's a remastered version of Floor Plan. It brings the puzzle adventure game to the Quest on October 26th, so this week. And it looks pretty cool. I love puzzle games. So this
Have
is
me a puzzle.
yeah, we watched the trailer for it. It looks pretty good. If you haven't seen the trailer yet, go check it out. Pretty like goofy, silly. You know, they
That's
have
a
you
funny trailer.
yeah, they do a good job with the narration of it. I was even complimenting them. They're showing you actual gameplay, but keeping it funny, engaging, a bit of a narrative to it. So
Yeah, pay real attention to the narrative.
But you can already tell. You know, there was even one point where it looked like the character in the trailer died. You know, I never played Floor Plan before, so like, wow, is there a little I expect you to die aspect to it? So definitely stay tuned for Floor Plan Remastered coming October coming October 26th with, and honestly, huge props for having a great trailer too. And then speaking of I Expect You to Die,
I expect you to die.
they shared on their YouTube channel last week some interesting player accomplishments, we should say, in relation
do tell.
to I Expect You to Die 3. So you can find the full video on the Shell Games YouTube channel, but they shared some fun stats like so far there have been 818,000 player deaths in I Expect You to Die.
I freaking love that they're tracking all this, by the way.
Of those 818,000 deaths, 52,000 of those have been exploding vodka. 34,000 of those have been an ejection seat malfunction, and 24,000 times have been a bear's laser. Overall, too, 57% of players completed the game, but only 4.3% of players have completed all side missions.
Which is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
4%.
Yeah. Which I didn't do all side missions.
No, but even on a lot of Xbox games, but we're struggling.
Oh, when you can see
we're both struggling
like
out.
the trophies or accomplishments,
Yeah.
it shows you like the amount of players. It's always like
percentage.
10%.
And it's sometimes you get towards the end of a game and you start seeing like wow, not everyone does achievements and shit because the percentage is so low. You're like, holy crap. Or where it's really weird is when you're like halfway through a game.
So I would love to get an update of this in like, I don't know, a year or two or something like that from them and see when we hit 1 million, 2 million.
1 million dead.
I remember.
I love that they're tracking, or they have the ability to track the in-game stats of the players to be able to have that list.
The Light Brigade has shared some pretty similar cool stats like that before. I love that stuff. I agree.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And then one last piece of news, and we'll go into our Patreon shout out, our ad break. Then we'll go into our thoughts on Walkabout Mini Golf's new DLC course, Widow's Walk.
You to walk about.
That would be a cool collab. Every time you die, it's like the strikeout. Just planting seeds. Hoping that this comes to something someday.
That would be a great collab.
Some people have complained about the Quest 3's quality, as well as some like an occasional popping noise.
Popping? What do you mean?
Just an occasional like high spike in volume.
Oh yes.
I don't think that we encounter
sound noise.
Yes, the microphone. Just like if you imagine like the audio wavelengths, just it occasionally shooting way up high for no reason. So people have been kind of complaining about it, especially in comparison to the Quest 2's mic. I personally haven't myself thought that the Quest 3 mic was bad, just loud, but it does. In my home environment, we were actually commenting that it did a good job blocking out my TV and stuff like that.
Built-in compressor or some shit.
But, senior member over in Meta, Mark Rapkin, he had responded to some people complaining about the mic. And he was like, don't worry, we're investigating it and we'll hopefully have a fix out soon. So looks like it's something that can be rectified software-wise, which I saw some people being like, you can't fix this because it's a mic placement issue. Software doesn't matter for it. I can tell you right now,
software's running that mic.
As somebody who runs a podcast, yes, software can very much make a big difference in audio quality and cleanup, even in real time.
You're not doing it without software.
Yeah, so there was quite a funny.
It's just going to be like a bullhorn.
I mean, even something like hand tracking isn't restricted to the hardware quality. That improves with software. Always assume something can
it's
improve.
Good that and what's scary is the fact that they're putting time into fixing it means it's pretty robust issue. So I am grateful that, knock on wood,
Mark Rapkin
haven't experienced it. So
Mark Rapkin in the past and now too, but historically he's been very easy to be direct in communication with consumers on Twitter. People,
I get that.
People
I was just saying that like it's a real issue.
It could just be that they didn't think it was an issue, but they're like, hey, look, enough people are complaining. Let's make it to where they're happy, even if that's not where we would have been happy. Maybe that's the wrong ways.
It's an issue.
Yeah, it's got to be. I personally haven't observed it. I wonder what it is, but I also think it's because how often don't we use party chat? Like never. We're always in party chat. Mm-hmm. And party chat is the cleanest version of the Oculus mics you'll ever hear. It's like no in-game chat. Even Pop 1.
So it's only happening to people in games?
That's my guess. I haven't heard that, but
that's odd.
Because think of it. Have you observed it all when we play?
No, but we might not be in that category of people that have the issue.
So you think I don't think it's a faulty mic thing. I think it's.
I'm just trying to think of what would create an audio spike,
and just overall
that's described as a popping.
And just not only that, don't look too much just into that too. It's just overall bad audio quality too, and that I haven't really observed too much.
Exclude those who are using like wireless audio.
They're saying in comparison to the Quest 2. I haven't observed it, but I think if we weren't playing in party chat, we would have.
I thought the audio was improved with the 3.
Me too, but I think that's because we play in party chat. I think that the times that we have popped, like example, didn't I accidentally leave the party last night in Dungeons?
We played in Pop 1 and it sounded like Pop 1 mics.
Pop 1 has always been exceptionally
and
good
then
too.
In Dungeons of Eternity, I heard you.
Yeah, how was it quality wise though? because you were still in party chat. I was in in-game chat.
A little less than Quest 2.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad though.
I'm curious if anybody's having this issue. Go pop into.
No pun intended. But that's how to get some pissed off people.
Yeah, go
make
pop
fun of my popping.
Go pop into the party chat. And,
no, I'm real curious what the. I'll have to Google and see if anybody's posted videos of the actual sound.
Yeah, there's somebody that. Geez, I think it was like. I'll remember who exactly it was, but he posted a really good like. Here's the mic on this headset. Here's it on the Quest 2. Here's it on the Quest Pro, and now here's it on the Quest 3, with the wavelengths and everything like that. And then, that was actually the last piece of news. So we'll head into our ad break now. But like always, before our ad break, I like to give a nice little shout out to our Patreon supporters. On our on-air shout out tier, Asim, Crispy, Amelia, Jake, Earth Witness, and Shoes. So thank you all for supporting us each month on our Patreon, which comes with
I always think of Kermit the Frog.
Which comes with some nice on-air benefits, as well as some benefits for our Discord channel, which anybody can join. But if you're a Patreon member, you get a separate members-only chat, so that's pretty cool too. Like I said, on-air shout-outs. There's one tier that gets your name across the screen, so definitely go check out our Patreon, help support the show. Also, be sure to join our Discord. Stay tuned for our gaming showcase, our VR gaming showcase coming February 2nd.
Coming soon. Coming quick.
Yeah, that's part of the upgrades. We're testing a bunch of stuff. It's madness. So, if you're a developer, you haven't yet, you're interested in partaking.
Still a little time.
Yeah, go visit the link in our show notes as well. That's where you can find the Patreon link, the Discord link. You can also find the showcase link, whole bunch of cool links. So go check that out. Again, in our Discord too. It's the place to be. We do game meetups, a whole bunch of game meetups actually. Great VR discussion. So definitely the place to be. So other than that, we'll be back with you in just a moment after a nice word from our sponsors.
We're brought to you today by Manscaped, who has taken a step up from Balloween to bring your face the cleanest shave it's ever seen. So this season, no need to toil and trouble. Manscaped's all-new Handyman is the best way to get rid of that stubble. Featuring a compact design and next-gen skin-safe technology, the Handyman was designed to give you that smooth finish without the mess of a traditional shave. Get the sweetest treat this Halloween by going to manscaped.com and use the code word RuffTalkVR for 20% off plus free shipping. It may be spooky season, but you don't want to scare people away with a scraggly beard. Give them something to look at with Manscaped's Handyman. Are you tired of a bad razor making your neck look like a scary movie? With the Handyman's skin-safe technology to help reduce nicks and cuts, you can finally feel confident when going for that close shave. For wet or dry use, feel free to bring this anywhere and everywhere. The compact design and airplane friendliness make this the perfect travel tool for on the go. And being able to shave up to 3 days growth without the mess of a wet shave is priceless. And for my wolfmen with a little more scruff, Manscaped Beard Hedger Pro Kit has everything you need to tame your mane. This cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more drawers full of extra add-ons and collecting cobwebs. That's right, your Halloween costumes may take effort, but beard grooming doesn't need to, when you can get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. The Beard Hedger is a high-tech piece of art in a travel-sized package with a long-lasting battery, universal charging, and a strong motor. There's no trick with this treat. Manscaped has you covered. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And use the code word RuffTalkVR. For a look as sweet as candy, get yourself the Handyman from Manscaped.
So before we get into our Walkabout Mini Golf Widow's Walkabout thoughts, I do have to mention that we bumped into fellow VR podcaster Skiva on Friday. He told us that he was going to be in the area. He knew we lived by. We found some neutral ground to meet on, and we had a nice little meetup session. It was a good time.
Yeah, it just went by too quick.
Yeah. We even visited a little game studio in Worcester called PETRI Core. I think it's Petrichor.
Yeah,
that was my
Petrichor.
Impression. But they're making an
Wicked
MR.
nice people.
Yeah, they're making a mixed reality game that just had a free demo drop called Mythic Realms. It was funny. They were joking that at one point it was just called MR game. Like
Mr.
Yeah, Mr. RPG. And they've kept the initials Mr. with Mythic Realm. So cool stuff. The the demo isn't the final product by any means. That's why it's the demo. The demo's, according to them, more just to show the concept of.
Well, and for feedback.
Yes.
So I loved when they were like, they put it out there for that feedback.
And they're like, this
Good,
isn't
bad, or indifferent.
This isn't the final product. Still a bunch of improvements. You know, they were doing the mixed reality when, you know, you were still drawing the walls. Now they have the room scanning, so they're adjusting to that on like a developer side as well. You know, there's a bunch of stuff that they're adjusting with on the fly because it's mixed reality. It's kind of uncharted territory.
Beautiful studio.
Yeah, but they're helping navigate that uncharted territory as well. So Mythic Realms, they've got their free mixed reality RPG game demo available on App Lab, but full game is still ways away, and there's going to be big improvements coming to it in the meantime. But yeah, I agree. Super cool studio. Was really cool to be able to check
Had
that
a
out.
candy bowl, dude.
Yeah, a bunch of chocolates and stuff like that. Of course, coffees on the. They're like, help yourself. You know, never do, despite being a coffee fiend.
Yeah, I looked at that wall of food they had. I was like, oh man.
Now, you guys are gonna get sick of me real quick. I start to unload. I'll say
How
that.
you want to film how to get thrown out of a studio 101?
But you know, it was really cool to meet Skiva. He's one of the content creators that you know.
Really nice guy.
When we were still getting started, you know, him, Mateo, they really stick out as people that gave us the time of day. And it was really cool to, you know, he was in the area. He's like, he thought of us, you know, he said, let's meet up. That was a really good time. So huge props to Skiva. It was great to actually meet him in person, co-host of the.
And he is as big as everyone says he
Yeah,
is.
it's very tall. Co-host of the Between Realities podcast. I didn't mention that. I just said fellow VR podcaster.
Good thing he's a nice guy, man.
Right?
He'd
Start
be in the
pushing
money,
people around.
easily in the money collecting business.
As well, he runs a pretty good PR firm for
I'd
VR
say.
games called Impact Reality. So
I'd
if you're a
say.
developer, you're looking to get your game out there a little bit more, definitely check them out.
Yeah, they
Former
do,
podcast sponsor too.
and they do all facets of the PR work. So it's,
Yes.
it's like if you just want some swag to
Some
give
creator
out to,
boxes.
Yeah.
If you want some community management,
Yeah.
if you want some social media work.
they get you covered.
And I'll be honest with you, we get a press release from Impact Reality. It catches my eye. I'm gonna open it. Can't guarantee
All right.
I'm always able
So
to see
are
everything.
they the only VR PR company? No. Are they? I'd say one of the top ones in what they do and how they interact with people. 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
It's like there's some company, and we're not naming anybody, but
We just can't say the same about all of them.
messages might not ever get answered,
And just
It's
might
like,
look bad. And
You know,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
also they
Yeah.
also have a keen eye for what is marketable.
Yeah. That's something we
and
talked with Steve
everybody
about.
can win and make money, and
They're not just about taking every single game. I'm sure they would love to, but not every game
no.
can be a good game. You know, there's that sad reality as well. So they believe in all the games that they're working with as
They're
well.
credible.
So for us
that I'm
as
grateful.
creators, that makes it easier too. You know that you're not just getting.
Oh yeah, dude, if they're working with a game, it's like I
Mm-hmm.
already know I want it.
So huge props to Skiva
Anyways,
again for
Thank you, Skiva.
for coming out, giving us the
Hopefully
time.
we can go out to your neck of the woods someday.
Yeah, we're homebodies in our Massachusetts turf for now, but
Hey, come over here.
hopefully that'll change soon. So on to Walkabout Mini Golf, their new DLC, Widow's Walkabout. Yeah, exactly that. A spooky themed DLC. You know, this one is. I was curious when I had heard it. I was like, Walkabout Mini Golf goes spooky.
Yeah.
And it was fun, man. They did a great job with the music, the aesthetic. When you go in, instantly they give you some interesting settings you can turn on and off in both the easy mode and the hard mode, including spiders. You know,
Spiders and lightning.
yes, if you don't like spiders or you struggle with the crazy lighting, because the hard mode is, dude, black and white. That's really cool. Not the normal mode. The normal mode is still color.
Mm-hmm.
The normal mode's normal, but the hard mode is in black and white. That was a nice like horror theme
They
touch.
do the there's a lot of like old school. There's so much old school.
It's like an old
Haunted
gothic
house.
house.
You know, I caught on to a lot of shit in there. I think there's a ton of Easter eggs in this one. Can't prove it, can't not prove it,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so much detail to go through to like, we've played it a few times, absolutely freaking loved it. But I'm just looking at each room's detail, and I'm like, dude, there's some areas where if you really want to see everything that's in there, you're gonna have to spend some time.
Yeah, no, they really stepped it up with amount of objects in each room.
Very old school haunted mansion to me.
It was a gothic theme to me. It was like an old gothic,
The music
haunted
was
house.
spot on, of course.
Of course, they always outdo.
I go into it with this crazy expectation. I'm like, doesn't matter what they do, it's gonna be freaking good. It could be a football field. Somehow they're gonna make it good. But
Well, they've yet to not meet that expectation aesthetically, visually. Again, we're saying that this is some of the most detailed course, and they really they nail what you would
there's
expect.
a ton of shit going on in some of those rooms, dude.
If you go on making a spooky theme, your brain's gonna go to classic spooky imagery and vibes, and they nail it right away with the visual and the audio. But beyond all of that, in classic Walkabout Mini Golf, Mighty Coconut form, the gameplay of the course is so freaking good on this one.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of my favorites.
I agree.
Yeah.
How about the hole with the guillotine? And you got to time it by going up as the guillotine goes down. You got to loop around.
Yeah.
Like the
Cut
whole
your ball right in half.
Yeah. The ball, or not the ball, the actual hole mechanics on this course are great. I really thought that this was one of the best gameplay courses. Like you said, one of my new favorites just to do.
Oh, what's cracking me up is every single time we play a course,
I know.
we're playing it, and then I hear you go, you know what? And I don't even want to say it. And I'm like, I already know what you're going to freaking say.
Something's
like-
the best.
Like, I think this one might be my new favorite.
Yeah, but we don't say that the gameplay is the favorite for each
No.
new one. Like we didn't say that for, I won't name which ones or anything, but we've been clear with like, oh, this one's
Yeah, the
a lot
actual-
more difficult. or
Every course hole and hard mode is
really hard.
Yeah,
We were
they
like,
did a
what,
good
plus
job.
plus 14 and 19 or
Dude,
something.
they got every scary element you'd ever think of. I mean, to me, the icing on the cake is the dolls.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that one was the
Like-
one part that was actually creepy. When you-
Well, and there's a couple. Yeah,
You're like looking at one point, the doll's not there. Then you turn and look, and there's a doll. Then
dolls
you look
standing
away,
there.
and it's gone. I mean, really well done. They do some fun stuff with telescopes,
Yeah,
just for
you
visual.
got to explore in this one.
Yeah,
There's
this is
some- I mean,
this is their
again,
biggest.
the level of detail, and then all the paintings. I want to know who each and every person in the paintings is. I'll put that out there right now.
I feel like inspired by the dev team. I feel like they had some fun artistically with
Of course they did, but
let's draw Lucas.
each one is-
Let's draw
they don't do anything just
half-assed.
or just because.
Mm-hmm.
So each picture that's there it's somebody.
So
There's some story behind it.
let's go over this. So the visual, they hit exactly what you would expect for a Walkabout Mini Golf spooky course.
Mm-hmm.
Audio was
No
on,
jump
spot
scares
on.
either. I mean, it's
No.
still just as family friendly as
That's why I
any
say
other
Walkabout
course.
Mini Golf
Yeah.
style. It's
If Walkabout Mini Golf wants to scare you, this is how they do it. So you're not going to.
it's not actually scary. It's
No.
Walkabout Mini Golf spooky. You know. So visually, they hit the expectation of what you would expect if Mighty Coconut does something spooky. Audibly, they nailed it. They did a great job of not making a novelty course. This is a course that's just fun in gameplay, period. You could pick this up on midsummer, and just because it's spooky or Halloween style,
Dude, if they stripped away all the spooky and just had it
the
as an
core-
outdoor course,
yes,
yeah,
the core gameplay mechanics of it is such a good course.
it's really good.
And then frickin' Edward with this course and hiding balls.
He did good.
This is one of his hardest courses that I've encountered. This,
Yeah, and some of them were pretty obvious.
some of them,
And
some
they
of
were
them no.
still a challenge to
Some of
find
them
the
no.
obvious. Yeah,
Some of them are like, he's out of
I know.
his mind.
I know. Amelia within 8 minutes will have every ball found.
Well, there's some good content creators that post how-to videos on day one. They got that ready to go. And that must be such a struggle to make because we always try to get all the balls. But like this one, we didn't get all the balls by the time the course was out. If that was our style, I'll give those people props. You know, you really got to figure it
They're
out.
really banging it out that quick. Yeah.
You got to figure it out, and you got to figure it out quick. So
And some of these, it's like the course area is not huge.
Mhm.
It's like the hole, I should say. So you're like, all right, this is gonna be an easy one, man.
no, those are the hardest
I'm
ones.
like, are you kidding me?
Those are the hardest
There's
ones.
no excuse for this at all.
When you see all of those objects on the wall, all of the potential ways for something to get hidden, I mean, wow. Edward
Yeah.
really outdid himself.
Well played.
Yeah. So visually good, audibly good, gameplay is good, and freaking the balls are hard to find. And they did a good job in
has all the mix-ins for a good time.
And the hard mode was really, really well done as well. You know, it's one that I would go back into. Sometimes the hard modes are really hard that I'll be like, no, I'll stick with just easy. You know,
the balance of the normal mode to hard mode.
Yes, I shouldn't say easy. Normal mode
was yeah. They don't give me the easy mode. Nah, man. I
was giving you a run for the money in easy too.
You were.
I had you beat until like
that
the very
usually
end.
Doesn't happen.
It was a run for the money. Taking it serious.
I think we were on like hole 8 or 9, and I was like, I was feeling weird because I'm like, I'm usually
way in the lead.
Yeah, man.
I'm taking crazy shots. No, I was a sniper. I was playing serious.
Then you slipped.
Yeah,
you made a mistake.
2 holes in a row,
and then that was it.
That's all you need in this game. But the gameplay of it, I don't know.
Slipping.
It's a serious course with gameplay. It's nothing goofy or novelty to be a spooky theme. It's like you said, you could strip that all away.
It's still a great course.
100%. It's a good course, period. Then you add on the layer of the visual and the audio, the fun of the ball hiding. Man, they never disappoint, but this was a good one. Well worth the $3.99 for 36 holes.
I hate saying one is better than the other.
No,
because as a package, they're all great courses. But I would say this is one of the better ones.
Yeah, one of the better DLCs.
If I were to be like, I guess crude enough or selfish enough to be like, this one was better. But no. I'd put it up as a current top 3.
This is
to be honest, because I loved how every hole was done. I loved how challenging each hole was. They brought some unique elements. There's some, I don't really know. I'm not even going to spoil it, but and you'll know what I'm talking about because your ball went there by accident.
Oh yeah.
And it does something.
There has to be more of those that we didn't discover in the course too.
So there's
some shortcuts.
Yeah. It's not your average bear going on here.
And
so, yeah, I put it as one of their best.
I agree. I mean, this DLC, even it would fit in the vibe and the theme of the base game. You know, I'm not saying to add it as a base game part. It definitely deserves to be a DLC, but it fits the Walkabout vibe so well.
I could see them doing that after the holiday.
Get the holiday.
After Halloween.
Yeah.
Be like, boom.
Or after a year or something. Maybe next Halloween or something.
And they're getting good with their bundles, too.
Yeah. Well, that makes you wonder if they're gonna do a holiday bundle someday. Where here's a spooky one. Now here's a snowman one. Here's like a Christmassy one. You know, bunch of elves and Santa Claus and stuff like that.
Again, as a studio, they're crushing it.
A Thanksgiving one. You got turkeys going around everywhere.
I don't see it slowing down with
releases and stuff like that.
And
I don't get that vibe.
The holidays are right around the corner. I think 8-9 weeks away.
Well, the last one, they had me going crazy where, oh my goodness, I never thought of mythology. Now you got all these potential ones. Now I never thought of holiday themed ones.
And we don't even know of all the licensed ones they probably got.
And let's be real too. It's not actually a Halloween course. It's just a spooky themed course.
This coincidentally comes out in October.
Yes, a couple weeks before Halloween. So that's why I make that reference. But nowhere is it restricted to being a Halloween thing. It's just a spooky themed course.
When you drop something spooky in October, to me, it's like you're deliberate with the Halloween around the corner.
Yeah,
but I agree. I mean, it could be August, and you could still play this.
100%.
Maybe I wonder if your brain would think Halloween, or if it would just think Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think they did a really good job just making a spooky themed course that
they used the psychology of Halloween as marketing.
And, you know,
pretty smart.
If you're somebody that plays solo, you're looking for people to play with, that's another reason to go join our podcast Discord, you know, because we do a lot of Walkabout Mini Golf meetups. It's definitely a Discord favorite. You know, I feel like I didn't give enough of a shout out to our Patreon peeps and our Discord peeps before. You know, our Discord is the best. I'm so happy with how welcoming it is, the vibes, you know, all positive, good, fun VR discussion.
99.999. We are...
Mod crew crushes
Our
it.
efficiency of no toxicity is better than that of the percentage of a condom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you have a better chance of getting pregnant than you do of
getting toxicity.
And if you do, you know what? I'm sure it hasn't been challenged, but I'm quite sure it would be swift and just, and it would be like, poof, gone.
Yeah.
You'd never even know, you know.
Mod team crushes it.
Oh my
The
goodness
users
gracious.
in there themselves, they're great. You know, fun VR meetups. It's very easy to find a game to play, you know, or people to play with. So if you're looking for Walkabout Mini Golf players, of course, there's the official Walkabout Mini Golf Discord as well, which is great to find a game as well. But hint, hint, nudge, nudge, go join the...
You can always come over here.
Yeah, come over to the good guys. Come over to the Rough Talk VR podcast Discord. And also, like I said before, maybe check out our Patreon. But, you know, back to the topic at hand. Mighty Coconut continues to just put out good content. You know, this... I don't know what else there is to say about it for people that haven't played it yet. If you're a Walkabout Mini Golf fan,
Just dropping nuts everywhere.
$3.99. Again, they continue to outdo themselves. This one's visually stunning, audibly stunning, great gameplay.
You're going to get, I think this will be one where a lot of people play it, like the replayability of it.
Yeah.
Some courses, I mean, everyone's got their favorites, and then there's some when you're playing, you'll be like, oh, I don't want to play that one. I think that happened to us a few times. We'll
I
be
think
like, let's play this one instead. So this one will be a good...
Surprisingly, I think
go-to.
the license courses sometimes I'm less likely to go into than their own in-house made stuff. Sometimes I like the full Walkabout Mini Golf touch, you know, the Mighty Coconut, those crazy freaking
they'll
coconuts.
put their touch on everything.
Yeah, they do such a good job. I'm already looking forward to the next. Yeah,
The Shell Games Walkabout collab they're going to do is pretty damn good.
I love that we
I'm
planted
down
that
for it.
seed. Can you imagine? That would be so freaking
Well,
good.
here's what I'm thinking, right? Because again, we love spending. Spending Mighty Coconut's money. We've done this numerous times.
Yes,
where
with
we
our
just go,
ideas.
you know, hey, but so check it out. There's three different I expect you to dies. You only need 18 holes. So at this point in the game, you could take, you know, one of each thing and make a course out
because
of
they
it.
got you about 6 ones per game, I think.
Yeah.
So
they might just be able to pull off. Actually, they definitely could.
a hole for every mission.
Yeah, because they could even get away with some freebies by just using the home area.
I would pay $6.99 for that one. How about that?
$6.99.
Because it's usually
Yeah,
$3.99.
fuck
you
you.
know?
I'll pay $9.99. What do you think of that? Huh?
That way,
are you
Shell can
gonna
get
do?
their cut too. You know,
I
I like the people to get fed.
Wouldn't that be a neat collab though?
Mhm.
Because I think graphically, it even if, well, they'd put their style of graphics onto the.
I expect you to die. Yes, you got the handler communicating with you,
So
or in the corner.
I think
Dude,
it's a fantastic collab.
yeah. 2 great studios too, but
Can't believe they're doing it, man.
nonetheless, if you're a Walkabout Mini Golf fan, Widow's Walkabout, not even for a spooky theme, just as a core Walkabout Mini
Just for
Golf.
a great course.
Yeah, it's one of the best. I loved it.
We'll spend that coffee money on what's going to be a lot longer than a cup of coffee.
As high as my expectations are for Walkabout Mini Golf courses, Widow's Walkabout surpassed it without a doubt. So huge props to Mighty Coconut, the whole team involved, Edward for hiding the balls, Don for the artwork, every single person that works there. You know, they put out a damn good product. One of my favorite studios, without a doubt.
The whole team. I'm hoping someday to show up at their door for a tour.
Go knocking in Austin. So
I want to see the Coconut team in action.
those crazy coconuts.
Yeah, no, they're a great studio. They're the gold standard for how to be successful in VR for what they do, and as far as being a co-op experience or multiplayer. I mean, and they don't miss a beat, and they get better each
and every week.
time, dude. So I would anticipate next month when another course drops, it's going to be even better, and we're going to be like, I can't believe we're saying this, but would you believe it's the best course ever? And then, 6 months from now, we're going to play a course. And oh my God, can you believe this? This is the best course ever.
No, I believe
I
it.
got to throw my Southern guy in there.
I believe it. Is there anything else though you wanted to say either about Walkabout or maybe some news or shout outs I missed?
If I was to rate it a score of 1
10
through
out of 10. 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of
Must
10
buy.
for me.
If you're a Walkabout Mini Golf fan, you got four
I got
bucks
nothing
to
else
spare.
to say about that.
$3.99.
10 out of 10 on my end.
One of their best
And
DLCs.
if you want me to play with you, I'll just go into Discord and set something up and send me a message, whatever.
Yeah, I'm a pretty easy seller.
I almost went in, not for this particular course, for obvious, but I almost jumped into Discord to be like, I got an hour. Anybody want to play a round of Walkabout?
Yeah.
Because I was like, I wonder how quickly I could get someone. And I'm thinking just because of the game it is, it's not too difficult.
No, I don't think so. That'll be a fun test to do sometime, though. But
Definitely.
other than that, if you've been enjoying this episode, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, go join the Discord, maybe even go join our Patreon. Stay tuned for Wednesday, where we're dropping a review of one of my new favorite games. You know what? But I'll save it for then. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, did I say subscribe and rate us 5 stars? I think I did. Have a great day.
Dozen, who knows?
Have a great day. How about
Enjoy.
that? Enjoy the rest of your day. Have a Coke and a smile. All that fun stuff.
Make sure the volume's down from the boss. Hey, people's bosses.
Get the Excel spreadsheets back up, and we'll check you out on Wednesday.
Take care.
Ciao, ciao.